Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and I'm back in my 1.81 world because there are updates to Industrial Craft. That's right, Industrial Craft version 1.337 has just been released, and I just went and downloaded it and started playing around. So a lot of this is bug fixes, but there are a couple new items and a couple new things, and I'm going to show you guys. Some of them are pretty neat, so let's get started. Alright guys, so let's cover the first item that I want to show to you. It's actually pretty neat and I'm pretty excited about it. Take a couple pieces of refined iron, a copper cable, a tin cable, which is this guy, and some glass, and we get this new item called the Loominator. Now those of you who played Industrial Craft 1 are familiar with the Loominator, but this is a totally different style of machine. Cool. So let's take a look. First off, if we were to go outside here, you can see that I set up a bat box with some energy in it. Why don't I throw a little bit more energy in there? And it runs over to this current of this cable here. Now, why don't I place the Loominator on that cable and see what happens. First, we'll take note of how much energy we've gotten there. About 19,500. Now, as soon as I place the Loominator on the cable, it creates light. And I'll break this torch here just to show that there really is light coming up in here. And if we go back upstairs, we'll see that it's quickly draining a good amount of energy out of the bat box. Now that's not all getting converted to light right now. What it's doing is it's storing energy in the internal buffer of the Loominator. So now we're at 9395. So you can see we got about, I don't know, a little over 10,000 energy units stored in the Loominator. Now the Loominator uses very little energy. Now, the way Illuminators work is they use about 5 energy units per second. So, as you guys know, standard generators create 5 EU per tick, and there's 20 ticks in a second. So you get 100 energy units per second out of a standard generator. So these guys really don't use a lot. And once they're fully charged, they last about, I think, 1.7 days or so. So almost 2 full Minecraft days will these Illuminators, last. Now the other cool thing about Illuminators, if I place some ceiling tiles up here, you can place the Illuminator directly on a ceiling tile. But you might say, how do I power it? Well, it's actually not too hard if you grab a rechargeable battery and just hold right click, and you'll see that all of a sudden we're getting more light. And you'll also notice that the Loominator looks a little bit different when it's on an item as opposed to just all by itself. And you can see the difference looking over there on your left. And if you just hold right click on the battery, it'll charge it up. And as we noticed, it's stored about 10,000, maybe a little bit more than 10,000 energy units in a Loominator. So one rechargeable battery will pretty much get the job done for each Loominator you have. But Alblaka made it nice and easy for us. He made it so that you don't have to use rechargeable batteries. You can also use energy crystals. So if I put this guy up there and start storing energy using the energy crystal, we'll only use about 1/10 of the energy crystal to get going here. So that's pretty cool. You can also place your Illuminators on the wall, and they form this little white strip like so. Looks pretty cool. And again, you can charge them. Let's see if it works with Lapotron crystals. I haven't tried this yet. Alright, so yeah, Lapotron crystals I guess it doesn't work with. Let me try with this one. Okay, but energy crystals it does, which is cool. So just go ahead and give them a good old right click and it'll start storing some energy in there for you. So Illuminators are pretty neat. You can either wire them directly with cable, like I showed you up there, or you can just stick them on the wall and charge them up with batteries every now and then. Like I said, they last about 2 Minecraft days, a little less than 2 maybe, per charge, which really isn't too bad. So it's up to you how you want to use your Illuminators. I think they're a pretty neat add-on to Industrial Craft, so definitely check them out. Another change I want to highlight for you guys is that the solar panel recipe has changed. It is now using electronic circuits as opposed to cables in the bottom right here. This increases the cost of the solar panel, which is a change I agree with because honestly solar panels were a little bit overpowered as they were. A little too easy to make and a little, pretty much set and forget. So that's cool. But to compensate for this change, nuclear reactors now provide 2 times the energy that they did before. So pretty much take all your nuclear reactor designs and double the energy output. That's what you're getting now. So that's pretty awesome. He also added it so that geothermal generators and regular generators produce 2 times the energy, but they use their fuel twice as fast as well. So you're not getting more fuel out of coal and lava, but it is churning through it faster, twice as fast as a matter of fact. So they're producing more energy, but using more fuel at the same time. Next up is more of a cosmetic change than anything, but if you place your ore into macerators now, it gives off this neat little smoke effect. I thought that was cool, so just want to show you guys real quick. Next up, let's talk about scaffolding. Remember I showed you guys in a spotlight that scaffolding, you can go ahead and build some cool stuff with it, and you can use your CF sprayer. You'll notice that it instantly replaced all the scaffolding that I just built with all the CF sprayer foam. So this kind of improves the way the CF sprayer works, with scaffolding. It's pretty cool, and a good add-on if I do say so myself. It really makes it a lot easier to use the CF sprayer to build things with scaffolding. So that's pretty cool. Another nice item that L-Block added for us is the Advanced Lap Pack. It's an upgrade to the Bat Pack created as shown, with a Bat Pack in the middle, and if it's fully charged, you get a slightly charged Lap Pack. If it's empty, you'll get an empty one, an advanced circuit, and 6 lapis lazuli blocks, which are crafted with 9 lapis lazuli combined. You guys should probably know that one already. So the Lap Pack here obviously stores a lot more power than the regular Bat Pack. So I just dropped a Lapitron crystal into an MFSU here, and you can see we have almost 1 million energy units. If I place my Lap Pack in there, it'll quickly charge it up. Now remember, we already had 60,000 units of energy in the Lap Pack, so let's see how much it fills. So you can see we're now down to about 760,000 energy units. Taking into account that there was already 60,000 in here, we can see that the Lap Pack stores 300,000 energy units, up from the 60,000 that those Bat Packs had. So the Lap Pack obviously stores a lot more energy, 300,000. Now the cool thing about this actually is that he also added it so that the Lap Pack can power more devices, specifically the mining laser. So you can see I'm shooting to my heart's content here, and my mining laser is not losing energy. It's actually draining it out of the Lap Pack. And I can now go ahead and add my long range or my scatter. And it's quickly draining the Lap Pack as opposed to the mining laser. So that is pretty awesome. It also charges the Nano Saber and any scanners that you might be using, like the scanner for ores and whatnot. And just to mention it to you guys, I'm not going to show it to you, but you'll have the basic concept. He also added a CF Bat Pack, which works with the CF sprayers, so that you can have, some extra CF stuff in there to go ahead and use that. So the CF sprayer has its own little Bat Pack, and you can see the recipe here. Check that out on your own. A minor change, but an awesome one. Have you ever tried to place something on a machine, and instead of placing down the item, you wound up opening the interface? Now, if you hold Shift and right-click on a machine, it'll not open the interface. So holding Shift while right-clicking on a machine will prevent you from opening the interface. But if you let go of Shift, you can open the interface as usual. So this makes it easier for you to go ahead and place items on machines and do whatever you want. Very nice change. Next up is a new type of cabling called the EU Detector Cable. Let's check this guy out. Place a 4x insulated HV cable, which you guys probably know the recipe for, but you can look it up if you don't. Some redstone and an electronic circuit, and we get the EU Detector Cable. Let's see how this guy works. So I've placed a pretty simple system here, MFSU with some energy in it, running over through one of those EU detector cables, which doesn't have an interface by the way, and it goes into another MFSU with currently no energy. Now the output block is facing me, so energy is not flowing through the cable. And we can confirm this by grabbing an EU reader and checking the cable. Nope, no energy going through. Now if I reorient the side of this block here so that energy is flowing through the cable, you'll see that the EU detector block is detecting that there's energy flowing through it, and you can tell that because it's emitting a redstone signal. So that's what the EU detector block does. When there's energy flowing through a cable, it emits a redstone signal. Pretty cool. And next up we've got the EU splitter cable. If we go ahead and place these guys in here with a lever and some redstone, we've got our EU splitter cable. So why don't I show you guys how this works. I've run over here and set up a pretty simple system to demonstrate how the EU splitter cable works. If we take an energy reading on this guy right now, and look in here, we can see there's plenty of energy in the MFSU, but it's not going anywhere. It's not going into these MFSUs, and the reason for that is because I have an EU splitter cable here, with a redstone signal being applied. Now, again, let's check to make sure. No energy going through here, nothing going through here, nothing going through here. Turn off the redstone signal, and now energy is flowing through. 512 going here, and it's going to both these MFSUs. Now you don't have to split it, obviously, to 2 MFSUs. It'll work going towards 1 or whatever, but that's basically what it does, is the EU splitter cable stops emitting, or stops letting EU going through the cable when a redstone signal is applied. So it basically blocks it. So I've rewired this without the EU splitter cable. So let's connect the line and see that it's sending 256 here and 256 here. Now if I were to place an EU splitter cable here without a redstone signal, we can see the same things happening. 256 here, 256 here. But if I place my redstone signal underneath, like so, nothing is traveling to this guy, and all of it is going into here. So you can see this is a nice way to kind of set up a system to, choose which path to go through. You could probably set up something so that if energy is flowing into this line here, using the EU detector cable, so there is energy flowing into here. So this guy is getting energy. You can then emit a redstone signal and turn off this torch, so that once this guy is full, it allows this guy to fill up and disables this blocking of the EU splitter cable. So this is a nice way to set up a system to determine which of your MFSUs should get priority filling, and it's all done with redstone. So again, this is the EU detector cable saying, yeah, there's energy flowing through here, so I'm emitting a redstone signal. And this is the EU splitter cable, which, when it receives a redstone signal, blocks energy from flowing into it. And just briefly, like I mentioned before, geothermal generators and regular generators burn through their fuel twice as fast, so I'm now getting 20 energy units per tick from my geothermal generator, as opposed to the 10 from the previous version. But the energy in this guy burns through a lot faster. So guys, I think I've pretty much covered all the things that there is to see in Industrial Craft version 1.337. Keep in mind that this is for Minecraft Beta 1.81. I know our Block and the team are already working on the 1.0 upgrade, so please don't bug them and ask them when the ETA is. 1.0 changed a lot of things in Minecraft, especially behind the scenes in the code, from what I've heard from some of my developer friends. So we just have to be patient. Industrial Craft is a very complex mod, and there's a lot of things going on in it. So, upgrading to version 1.0 is probably going to take a little bit longer, but I'm sure they'll get it out as soon as possible. So, this has been the Industrial Craft version 1.337 update to Industrial Craft 2. Hope you guys have enjoyed checking it out, and I recommend downloading it and playing with it. Illuminators are cool, and a lot of the changes they made are pretty neat, and I can't wait to use these guys here, the new cables, once I get into my Let's Play series. So, Direwolf20 signing off. Take it easy.